I am making a beach bag. And, you know, I wanted to share with you because this beach bag is made with cork. Let me get in front of the camera right here. Okay, here we go. All right. So I've got two types of cork. I've got this cork with the gold fleck on it. And then I've got this this printed cork. So the one thing I'm thinking about the beach bag, and this one issue I have, especially with this printed cork, is that in the sun and the sand, the print is going to get weathered really bad. And here we've got the Odicoat. And this stuff I have found does a really good job of protecting fabric and cork. And it makes it a lot more pliable. So, a couple of things. I'm going to be like a really bad parent here and tell you how to do this. And I'm not doing it this way. Do as I say, not as I'm doing. That's how parents are not supposed to do things. So here's a couple of recommendations. I'm just doing this on my cutting mat. If you want to protect the surface, do this over paper and wear some latex gloves. Those are two things that I am not doing. I'm going to tell you right now, if you get it on your fingers, you remember how Elmer's glue dries on your hands and you can take it off with soap and water? That's how this basically dries. And it's kind of has a fishy smell to it, which I've gotten used to that. So anyway, I am not using anything to protect my board. It doesn't really, I think you could probably wash it off with soap and water as well. They also say to use like a credit card to apply it, and I don't do that. And the reason being is that I like to put it on super thin. I have already put one coat on this. I'm going to put a second coat, and I'm going to show you how I do it. I use one of these little sponge foam brushes to apply it, and I've kind of shaved it down. This is actually kind of hardened, which even is better. And this is how I apply it. I put just this much on it, and then I simply put it on and I spread it, and I spread it thin. You don't want it too thick. Since this is the second coat, it's not going to absorb in there, so I really want it spread thin. And you see I'm getting it on the surface. You can wipe it off with a damp towel. So this is how it goes. I don't like it to look shiny. I don't want to see stroke marks, so I go back and forth and this way, and I get it so that it covers. But again, I want it thin, and I don't want to see streaks. It dries really nicely too, and it kind of makes the colors pop. But like I said, I do it really thin. And when you do it thin enough, it dries really fast. I let the first coat dry overnight. This will probably be dry within about an hour or so. So this is how I do it. Again, I go back and forth, one direction, making sure it's very thin, and then I go this direction. That way we don't see streaks. Like so. And you can even go on a diagonal. I go very lightly, and see now it's kind of, it's wet a little bit, but when it dries, you can't see it. We'll do another one so you can, I dip it like so, about this much on the brush, back and forth. And this, it's very much like Mod Podge. I was telling my mom last night, it's, back in the 70s and 80s, we used to decoupage. Oh God, that's dating myself. But anyway, it's pretty much like you're decoupaging the material, and it's a great waterproofing agent. And so I put Decaville Light. This this pattern called for foam, and for a beach bag, I did not want it to be that thick. So you see how I've got the seam allowances. That I may do another video for this. I have the seam allowances all marked. I've got the Decaville Light inside the seam allowances, and then we're coating it to protect it. So you could take this to the pool. You could take it to the ocean. I live on an island. I got lucky. You take this down to the beach, so if it gets sand on it and stuff, I just think it'll protect it. This cork is from Portugal, and I have noticed that even when I sew it, sometimes when you're birthing it, it just doesn't do so well. I mean, you can see at the seams it'll crack a little bit, but I think this'll do much better. It just really makes it much richer. Okay, so that's it for the Odicoat. Now I'm going to do it on this. I found that on the solid, it really is going to need a second coat. You don't notice it on that print so much, but it's the coat isn't as quite consistent on the solid, so it's probably going to need a good 2 coats on this solid so you don't see any markings. So that's what I got here. This is the Odicoat on the beach bag. So there's one thing that I did and I wanted to note. On solids like this, cork, I did not like, I could see brush strokes, and I'm sure if you had a card, you could see the lines of the Odicoat. And I did 3 coats, so this is really well coated, and I didn't like that, so I did some homework. And on fabric, they recommend you can iron over it with parchment paper with no steam. Okay, so I thought about it, and I thought, well, what I decided to do is I experimented with my heat press and a Teflon sheet, and it worked out well. It took out all the stroke lines, and the Teflon sheet had a little bit of, texture from it, so it kept that texture, and I'm really pleased with the outcome. Really happy with it. So it saved it, because otherwise I was gonna get ready and just get rid of it and start all over. But the feel of the Odicoat on the cork gives it a softer feel, and after I went and I put it in the heat press, it gives it a really a soft feel. So now it's waterproof as well. So that's it. I just wanted to share that with you. So now I'm going to go forward and start sewing it. But anyway, that's what I've done, and you don't see any inclination that I've coated it at all, except for the feel of it is softer than regular cork. So that's what we got here. So just sharing that. Thanks. We made 1,000 subscribers. I want to thank all of you. This has just been incredible. My goal now is to donate to charity and to really get going on sewing group therapy, which is my Zoom courses I want to do, and connect with all of you. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear how you get through the day, how you set goals for yourself, what you want to do, what you want to create in the bags. I love your comments. I have some things ahead that I want to share, like some mindset goals, how you can change your future in sewing just by setting forth small things, small steps every day, and challenging yourself. There's so many of you out there that are way better than me. I know I've been sewing for 50 years, but there are so many of you that have bigger challenges than I do and are accomplishing incredible things, and that's what I want to share on my channel. I would love for those of you who would love to share a story with me to get in contact with me, and we can talk, because that's what's next on the horizon. So I look forward to seeing you again, and yeah, let's do this. Talk to you soon.